Hello and happy Thursday. Welcome back to Junior Bible Study. So today we're going to do kind of an experiment in our Bible study, and it's going to be super fun. Okay, so today we are going to do a small experiment with salt and warm water. So first, I would like you to get a glass of hot water from the faucet. Doesn't have to be super hot, just out of your sink, just hot water. Your parents can help you with this, okay? Next, get the salt shaker and shake some salt into your hot or warm water. So go ahead. Can you see it going into my cup? You can see it falling down. Okay, it just needs a little bit. Then quickly stir with a spoon. So I'm going to stir, 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 stir. Now don't do too much salt or it's not going to work with our experiment. But if you can see, the salt goes away. So the little grains of salt that you could see at the bottom no longer are grains of salt. So the salt that's in my cup does not look like the salt that is in my salt shaker. Whoa. All right. So now I want us to think about some things that happened here. So if you see, you still can't see any grains, nothing like that. So let's think about some things that happened. Since you can't see the salt, did it completely go away? Okay, do you think if we poured out the water, you would find the salt? So if I poured this water into something, I'm not going to, I don't want you to either, but if I poured it out, would you find the salt at the bottom? Would it magically come back? Nah. Okay, do you think the salt will ever be able to be seen again? Do you think the salt will ever be able to be able to be seen again? I don't think so. Okay, it doesn't look like it's coming back at all. All right, what do you think it would taste like if we were to drink the water? Do you think it would taste like normal water? Okay, so let's talk about some of the answers now that you've discussed some of these questions.
Mommy, I hit my toe.
You hit your toe?
Yeah.
Oh no. Kiss it. Mwah. You're okay.
No,
All right.
not done.
So the salt dissolved in the water, okay? Which means that it basically melted in the water. So it just dissolved and went away so that we could not see the salt grain anymore. If we poured out the water, we would not be able to find the salt because it is dissolved. That means that it's not going to come back to be a salt grain. We will not be able to see the salt again. If we were to drink the water, it would taste like salt water. Although the salt is dissolved, it is still in the water, okay? So I didn't point this out earlier, but if you look really closely, the water kind of seems foggy now, okay? Now sit next to me. Okay, so when you notice that the water looks foggy, that is the dissolved salt in there that is telling you it's a little bit different now. It's like salt water, okay? Okay, so although the salt is dissolved, it is still in the water. It is just melted down so small that we can no longer see it. But you will still be able to taste it and know that it is there, okay? So we're going to put that to the side now that we've talked about that little experiment. Now let's relate this to God's love, okay? Salt, when dissolved in the water, may disappear, okay? Ours disappeared, correct? Yes, we can't see it. But it does not mean that it stops existing because it is still in there. It's just made it a salt water now. We can be sure of its presence by tasting the water. Likewise, in the indwelling Christ, though unseen, will be made evident to others from the love which he imparts to us. Okay? So that's a lot of big words. So let's bring that down.
Mommy, what's your Greekin?
We're doing an experiment with some salt water. Okay, so I want you, take your cup at this time. I don't want you to drink this because it will be really nasty, but you can take your finger, you can dip it in the water and taste it. Does it taste different to you? It tastes different to me. Okay, so we are proving to ourselves that the salt is still in the water. So what it is telling us is, when we're comparing this to God's love, is that Christ is, you cannot see God's love inside of us because it's on the inside of us and it's love, it's actions and things like that. But it will be made evident to others. So others will be able to tell when the love leaves us, okay? So that means when you show acts of love and you use cotton ball words and you're nice to your friends, that means that people will see God's love leaving you. Just like when we put our finger in this cup and that water was on our finger and we put it in our mouth, we could still tell that it was there because it left the water. Just like when God's love leaves us, okay? Even though we may not be able to literally see God's love inside of us, other people will be able to tell that you have God's love according to how you taste. Now, wait a second. Don't go lick your friends and see what they taste like, but pay attention to their actions. Nice actions and words are a representation of God's love, and harsh actions and words are not a representation of God's love. So if you see people using kind actions and using kind words, that is a representation of God's love. Just like the salt in the water, it's still inside of us, even though you can't see it. So let's look at a verse right now. In the Bible, okay, sit here and listen, okay? It says in 1 John chapter 3, verse 18, it says, "Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." Okay, so I want to see your actions be kind. Yesterday we talked about our words being kind and our cotton ball words and being nice to one another. But I want us to have Christ-like actions today. So whether that be helping your brother or sister pick up their toys, helping your mom or dad with the laundry, helping your mom or dad out in the yard with some yard work, I want to challenge you to have Christ-like actions. You want people to know that you have God's love inside of you by your actions, by you doing things for others that is nice and friendly. Okay, so make sure to show God's love so that people know that it's inside of you. Because just like the salt water, you don't know the salt's in there. If you didn't see me do the experiment, you wouldn't know the salt's in there until you taste it. So give people a taste of God's love and show them with your actions. And sorry for Carson being crazy today, everybody. But happy Thursday, and I'll see you tomorrow.